Have you ever felt the pull of something greater? A longing to escape the mundane and uncover a deeper truth? Imagine leaving behind the noise of the world, stepping into a realm of silence where you come face to face with the essence of your being. The story of Gampopa, who spent 3 solitary years meditating in the remote mountains, is not just an ancient tale of spiritual pursuit. It's a living, breathing reminder that the quest for enlightenment is as relevant today as it was centuries ago. What would it feel like to strip away the distractions and confront the raw reality of your mind? Gampopa's journey isn't merely about solitude. It's about triumph over the illusions that chain us to suffering. It's a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the timeless struggle to overcome desire and delusion. Could you face the silence? Could you embrace the solitude, not as an escape, but as an opportunity to rediscover yourself? Rooted in the rich Kagyu tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, Gampopa's tale carries layers of meaning, each one an invitation to reflect deeply. It's a story of heartbreak, unshakable determination, and ultimate triumph. But most importantly, it challenges us to ask ourselves, what am I truly holding on to? What illusions are keeping me bound? If this story resonates, don't forget to share it with others and subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Gampopa's early life, from physician to seeker. Before Gampopa became a revered master and one of the most significant figures in the history of Tibetan Buddhism, he was known as Dakpo Larje, a man whose early life was rooted in worldly success and grounded in the tangible realities of human life. Born into a prosperous family, Gampopa displayed great intellect and a natural affinity for healing. He trained extensively as a physician, dedicating his life to alleviating the suffering of others. Through his remarkable skill and compassion, he earned a reputation as a healer of exceptional ability, bringing relief and hope to countless people in his community. His practice thrived, his patients revered him, and his life seemed destined to follow a path of comfort and achievement. Yet even the most accomplished and outwardly fulfilled life can be shattered by the unpredictable tides of human existence. For Gampopa, the turning point came in the form of a devastating personal tragedy: the untimely death of his beloved wife. Their bond had been one of profound love and mutual support, a partnership that had given his life meaning and stability. Her sudden passing was not merely a loss. It was an earthquake that shook the very foundation of his being. Grief consumed him, plunging him into a state of despair so profound that it seemed insurmountable. In the wake of her death, Gampopa found himself questioning everything he had once held as certain: the security of his life as a physician, the respect of his peers, and the comforts of his material success. All seemed hollow in the face of such an immense and irreparable loss. Have you ever faced a moment of loss so profound that it shattered your understanding of the world? For Gampopa, this experience became the crucible in which a profound transformation began to take shape. What had initially appeared as the end of meaning in his life soon revealed itself to be a doorway to a deeper truth. As he grappled with the raw pain of his grief, he realized that the suffering he faced was not unique to him, but was instead a universal aspect of the human condition. No amount of worldly success, skill, or wealth could shield him from the impermanence and fragility of life. This realization marked the beginning of a shift within him, a move away from the material realm and toward the spiritual. His despair became a catalyst, igniting within him an unquenchable desire to seek answers beyond the confines of the physical world. Driven by this burning need for understanding, Gampopa began to explore spiritual teachings, searching for a path that could illuminate the mysteries of life, death, and suffering. His journey eventually led him to the teachings of Milarepa, one of Tibet's greatest yogis and poets, whose life was itself a testament to the power of transformation. Milarepa had transcended his own dark past through intense meditation and spiritual practice, and his teachings offered a beacon of hope for Gampopa. The meeting of these two extraordinary individuals was not a mere coincidence, but a moment of profound destiny. It exemplified the timeless truth that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Under Milarepa's guidance, Gampopa embarked on a rigorous spiritual path. His journey was not easy. It required immense discipline, unshakable faith, and the courage to confront his deepest fears and attachments. Milarepa's teachings encouraged Gampopa to view his sorrow not as a curse, but as a powerful force that could be transformed into spiritual determination. Through meditation, reflection, and unwavering commitment, Gampopa began to channel his grief into a source of strength and wisdom. He came to understand that life's darkest moments often hold the greatest potential for awakening, forcing us to look beyond the superficial layers of existence and seek the deeper truths that lie beneath. Isn't it remarkable how life's most painful experiences can become the foundation for profound personal growth? Gampopa's story reminds us that even in the depths of despair, there is hope. His journey from physician to seeker is a testament to the transformative power of loss and the resilience of the human spirit. It shows us that while suffering is an inevitable part of life, it can also serve as a gateway to enlightenment, offering us the opportunity to rise above our pain and discover a higher purpose. Gampopa's life teaches us that even the most devastating tragedies can lead to the most profound awakenings, revealing a path to wisdom, compassion, and ultimate liberation. The 3-year retreat, a journey. Within, imagine this: a cold, remote mountain cave perched high above the distractions of human civilization. The air is thin and biting, the silence so profound that it seems to hum in your ears. No bustling streets, no comforting voices, no gentle hum of technology, just the sound of the wind howling through the cracks in the stone, the occasional rustle of wildlife, and the ceaseless rhythm of your own breath. Picture yourself stepping away from the life you know, away from family, friends, and all the trappings of modern convenience, to live in complete isolation. For most of us, such a thought might feel unfathomable, even frightening. Yet, this was the path Gampopa chose: a deliberate retreat into solitude for 3 years, dedicating himself to the profound practice of meditation. Far from the comforts of society, he embarked on a journey not just outward into the wilderness, but inward, into the depths of his own mind. What does it take to make such a decision? What strength or desperation drives a person to leave everything familiar behind? Could you face the silence, the loneliness, and the unrelenting confrontation with your inner world? Gampopa's retreat was not a simple act of running away. It was a sacred commitment to self-discovery and liberation. In Buddhist tradition, such retreats are seen as opportunities to break free from the endless cycle of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, driven by ignorance and attachment. In the stillness of the cave, Gampopa sought to strip away the illusions of the world, to see reality as it truly is. But this journey was anything but easy. As the days stretched into weeks and weeks into months, Gampopa found himself immersed in the silence of his environment. The quiet was not the peaceful stillness one might imagine. Instead, it was a mirror, reflecting every thought, emotion, and fear back at him. With no external distractions, the mind's chatter grew deafening, like a storm raging within. This was where the real battle began. Within this silence, Gampopa encountered visions, astonishingly vivid and powerful. These were not mere idle daydreams, but profound, almost tangible experiences. He saw dazzling images of wealth, mountains of gold and jewels glittering in the light. He was tempted by visions of power, authority over vast kingdoms, the ability to command and control. And there were sensual pleasures, intoxicatingly real, beckoning him to indulge in the desires of the body. These visions were unlike anything most of us could imagine. They were so vivid and lifelike that they felt more real than reality itself. Can you imagine what it would be like to face such temptations? Imagine sitting in the silence of your cave, struggling with the relentless cold and hunger, and suddenly being presented with the warmth and luxury of a royal palace. Could you resist reaching for it? Or what if you were offered infinite power, the ability to change the world at your will? Could you turn away from that? These were not abstract philosophical dilemmas for Gampopa. They were tests that struck at the core of his being. In Buddhist philosophy, such experiences are often described as encounters with Mara, the embodiment of temptation and distraction. Mara is said to arise precisely when one is on the cusp of spiritual awakening, testing their resolve by presenting them with illusions crafted from their own deepest desires and fears. These illusions are not arbitrary. They are born from the karmic imprints carried by the practitioner, the unfulfilled cravings and attachments accumulated over countless lifetimes. For Gampopa, these visions were both a challenge and a revelation. He understood that they were not external forces trying to lead him astray, but projections of his own mind, manifestations of the attachments that bound him to samsara. To see through these illusions, Gampopa relied on the profound meditative insight he had cultivated. He observed the visions without grasping at them, allowing them to arise and fade away like clouds passing through the sky. Through this process, he came to recognize their true nature, fleeting, empty, and ultimately unreal. This process was not easy. Each vision brought with it the temptation to indulge, to believe in its reality, to let it sweep him away. But Gampopa's commitment to his practice remained steadfast. With each vision he resisted, his understanding deepened, and the chains of attachment that had bound him grew weaker. His ability to see through the illusions became a powerful reminder of the impermanence and emptiness of all phenomena. What about us? Have you ever looked deeply at your own desires and asked yourself, are they real, or are they just illusions? How often do we chase after things we believe will bring us happiness, only to find that the satisfaction is fleeting, dissolving like mist under the morning sun? Gampopa's journey challenges us to examine our own lives. What are the visions that tempt us? The wealth, the power, the pleasures we pursue. Are they any more real than the illusions he faced in his cave? Gampopa's 3-year retreat was not simply about physical isolation. It was an act of profound courage. It required him to face the raw truth of his existence, to confront the mind's deepest fears and desires without flinching. His story reminds us that the path to liberation is not found in escaping from the world, but in turning inward, in facing ourselves with honesty and compassion. Would you be able to do the same? Could you step away from the noise and distractions of your life, even for a moment, to explore the vast and often unsettling terrain of your inner world? Gampopa's retreat may seem distant, a story from another time and place, but its lessons are universal. It invites us to reflect on our own attachments, to question the illusions we cling to, and to find the courage to walk the path of self-discovery. The journey may not be easy, but as Gampopa's story shows us, the rewards are profound. Lessons from the mountain, the universal struggle. The story of Gampopa's retreat offers a powerful and timeless lesson, not just for those walking a spiritual path, but for anyone seeking a deeper, more meaningful life. His 3-year retreat in a remote mountain cave, far from the comforts and distractions of society, serves as a profound reminder of the universal struggles we all face. It's a tale that resonates because it mirrors our own challenges, our own temptations, and our own search for peace and understanding in a world often filled with noise. The visions that Gampopa encountered during his retreat were not merely obstacles designed to test his resolve. They were reflections of his own inner world. These vivid manifestations, illusions of wealth, power, and sensual pleasure, seemed real and tangible, but they were projections of his deepest desires and karmic imprints. In the silence of his cave, Gampopa realized that these temptations were not enemies to be avoided, but teachers to be embraced. Each vision was a mirror, revealing the attachments that still bound him to samsara, the endless cycle of suffering and rebirth. Instead of fearing these illusions, he met them with awareness, observing them without grasping, until they dissolved into the emptiness from which they arose. This reframing of temptation as a teacher is a lesson that transcends time and tradition. In our own lives, we often encounter distractions and challenges that feel insurmountable, whether it's the pull of material success, the craving for validation, or the pursuit of fleeting pleasures. We are constantly drawn toward things that seem to promise happiness. Yet, how often do we pause to question these desires? How often do we ask ourselves whether they are truly real, or if they are simply illusions, like Gampopa's visions, born from the restless grasping of the mind? What if, instead of viewing these temptations as obstacles, we saw them as opportunities to better understand ourselves, to uncover the attachments and fears that shape our actions? As Gampopa meditated, he came to a profound realization. The visions that appeared before him were not real in any lasting sense. They were impermanent, fleeting, and devoid of inherent existence. This insight reflects one of Buddhism's central teachings, that all phenomena, no matter how solid or permanent they seem, are as insubstantial as a dream. What would change in our lives if we truly understood this? If we could see through the illusions that bind us to suffering? How often do we cling to things, possessions, relationships, achievements, as though they will last forever, only to be met with disappointment when they inevitably fade? Gampopa's experience reminds us that the things we grasp at most tightly are often the very things that keep us trapped. The wealth we pursue, the power we covet, the pleasures we chase, they may bring temporary satisfaction, but they cannot provide lasting peace. By seeing through the illusions of his own mind, Gampopa was able to break free from the attachments that held him back. His story challenges us to do the same, to examine our own lives, to question the things we cling to, and to recognize their impermanence. Yet, this kind of insight doesn't come easily, especially in a world as fast-paced and noisy as ours. Gampopa's retreat reminds us of the transformative power of solitude. In the stillness of his mountain cave, he was able to turn inward, to confront the chaos of his own mind, and to uncover the truth that lay beneath. While most of us cannot retreat to a remote cave for years, we can still create moments of stillness in our daily lives. When was the last time you sat quietly with your thoughts, free from distractions? When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be, without scrolling through your phone, checking your email, or planning your next task? Solitude doesn't have to mean isolation. It can be as simple as carving out a few minutes each day to sit in silence, to breathe, and to listen to the whispers of your inner world. These moments of stillness, though small, can be transformative. They can help us reconnect with ourselves, see through the illusions that cloud our vision, and find the clarity we so often seek outside of ourselves. Gampopa's retreat, though extraordinary in its intensity, holds lessons for all of us. It teaches us that the challenges we face are not obstacles to be feared, but opportunities to grow. It reminds us that the things we cling to most tightly are often the very things that hold us back. And it shows us that true peace and understanding come not from running away from the world, but from turning inward, from confronting our own minds with honesty and compassion. His story is not just a tale of one man's spiritual journey. It is an invitation to reflect on our own lives. What are the illusions we cling to? What are the temptations we resist or avoid? And what might we discover if we dared to pause, to sit in stillness, and to face ourselves with the same courage that Gampopa showed in his mountain cave? The answers may not come easily, but as his story shows us, the journey is always worth it. The transformative role of a teacher. The story of Gampopa shines a light on the transformative role of a teacher in spiritual practice, a relationship that transcends the mere transmission of knowledge. For Gampopa, his connection with Milarepa was not a simple mentorship. It was a profound and life-altering bond, one that reshaped his understanding of the path to enlightenment. Milarepa was not just a guide who pointed the way. He was a living embodiment of the teachings, someone who had walked the arduous path before him, endured its trials, and emerged on the other side with the wisdom to illuminate the way forward. This dynamic teacher-student relationship speaks to a universal truth. No matter how capable or determined we may be, there are journeys we cannot undertake alone. Milarepa's teachings were not handed down as abstract instructions or intellectual exercises, but as direct, experiential guidance tailored to Gampopa's unique challenges and potential. It was through Milarepa's wisdom and compassion that Gampopa was able to navigate the profound trials of his spiritual journey. Milarepa taught him not only how to meditate and practice, but also how to face his fears, confront his attachments, and transform the illusions that clouded his perception. In many ways, Milarepa acted as both a mirror and a compass. A mirror reflecting Gampopa's potential, and a compass pointing him toward his true nature. The depth of this relationship reveals the vital role of trust and surrender in the student-teacher dynamic. For Gampopa, placing his faith in Milarepa required humility and a willingness to let go of his preconceptions. This kind of surrender is not about blind obedience, but about opening oneself fully to the guidance of someone who has traversed the terrain of inner transformation. Milarepa's own life, filled with hardship, repentance, and ultimate liberation, served as a testament to what was possible, inspiring Gampopa to commit fully to his practice. What makes this relationship even more extraordinary is its far-reaching impact. Through Milarepa's guidance, Gampopa was able to integrate the esoteric, experiential practices of Milarepa's teachings with the structured monastic discipline of the Kadampa tradition. This synthesis became the foundation of the Kagyu lineage, one of the most influential schools of Tibetan Buddhism. The teachings that Gampopa received and refined were not confined to his own spiritual progress. They became a living tradition, passed down through generations and transforming the lives of countless practitioners. The ripple effect of this relationship is astonishing when we pause to reflect on it. Consider the idea that one teacher's wisdom, imparted to one student, could go on to inspire an entire lineage. Through Gampopa, Milarepa's teachings became accessible to countless others, spreading far beyond the confines of their time and place. This is the power of the teacher-student connection, its ability to transcend individual experience and contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. For us, Gampopa's story serves as a reminder of the value of finding a guide on our own journeys. Whether in spiritual practice or in the broader context of life, we all benefit from the presence of someone who can see what we cannot, someone who can help us navigate the obstacles we may not yet understand. A true teacher does not impose their will or knowledge, but instead nurtures the student's own wisdom, helping them uncover the answers already within. Imagine, for a moment, the courage it takes to place your trust in such a guide. The willingness to admit that you don't have all the answers, that you need help, is not a weakness, but a strength. A recognition of the interconnectedness of all beings. Just as Milarepa's guidance enabled Gampopa to achieve profound insights, our own openness to learning from others can be a source of transformation in our lives. The legacy of Gampopa and Milarepa reminds us that every journey is part of a greater whole. The lessons we learn, the insights we gain, and the challenges we overcome are not solely for our benefit, but have the potential to inspire and guide others. In this way, the teacher-student relationship is not just a bond between two individuals. It is a thread in the vast tapestry of human experience, weaving together the wisdom of the past with the promise of the future. Gampopa's journey, shaped by Milarepa's guidance, ultimately reminds us of the profound interdependence that lies at the heart of the spiritual path. No one walks this path alone. Each step we take is supported by those who came before us, and each step we take creates a path for those who will follow. The ripple effect of one teacher and one student is boundless, a testament to the transformative power of connection, trust, and the shared pursuit of truth. Symbolism and deeper meaning. The story of Gampopa's 3-year retreat is more than just a tale of spiritual perseverance. It is a profound narrative layered with symbolic meaning, offering timeless lessons for anyone seeking a deeper understanding of themselves and the nature of reality. Each element of his journey carries rich symbolism, illuminating key teachings of the Buddhist path and revealing insights that extend far beyond his mountain cave. The 3 years Gampopa spent in retreat hold a symbolic resonance that speaks to the very foundation of the Buddhist path. The 3 pillars of ethical discipline, shila, meditative concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, prajna. These are not merely abstract ideals, but practical, actionable steps that form the backbone of spiritual practice. Ethical discipline reminds us of the importance of living in harmony with others and with ourselves, creating the foundation for inner peace. Meditative concentration allows us to stabilize the mind, cultivating clarity and focus amidst life's distractions. Wisdom, the culmination of the first two, is the direct insight into the true nature of reality, liberating us from suffering. Gampopa's commitment to 3 years of uninterrupted practice reflects this triad, symbolizing a complete and balanced approach to the path of awakening. His retreat serves as a reminder that, while such depth of practice may seem far removed from our busy lives, we too can integrate these principles into our daily routines. Ethical actions, moments of quiet reflection, and efforts to see things as they are can guide us toward greater peace and understanding. The temptations Gampopa faced, visions of wealth, power, and pleasure, carry their own potent symbolism, representing the 3 poisons in Buddhist teachings: greed, hatred, and delusion. These mental afflictions are seen as the root causes of all suffering. Greed, symbolized by the allure of wealth, reflects our insatiable craving for more possessions, more status, more experiences, believing that fulfillment lies outside of ourselves. Power, tied to hatred, can manifest as the desire to dominate or control, often arising from fear or aversion. Pleasure, associated with delusion, represents the intoxicating distractions that prevent us from seeing clearly. These 3 poisons are not abstract ideas confined to Buddhist philosophy. They are universal challenges that each of us encounters in our daily lives. They manifest in countless ways: the drive for material success, the resentment toward those who oppose us, the comforting yet false narratives we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. Gampopa's ability to see through these temptations was not an act of suppression or avoidance, but one of profound insight. He recognized these visions as projections of his own mind, illusions born from his own unresolved attachments and fears. This realization highlights a core truth of Buddhist practice. The mind itself is both the source of suffering and the key to liberation. The fact that these temptations arose from within Gampopa underscores the transformative power of insight meditation. By turning his awareness inward and observing the nature of his thoughts and desires, he was able to dissolve their hold on him. This is a powerful reminder that the external circumstances of our lives, while often challenging, are not the ultimate cause of our suffering. Rather, it is our relationship to these circumstances, our craving, aversion, and misunderstanding, that keeps us bound. Consider what this means for us in our own lives. How often do we look outward for the causes of our struggles, blaming external events or other people for our unhappiness? Gampopa's experience teaches us to turn inward instead, to examine the stories and attachments that shape our perception of the world. Isn't it empowering to realize that the source of our suffering lies within? If suffering arises from the mind, then liberation does too. Through mindful observation and the cultivation of insight, we can begin to see through the illusions that bind us, much as Gampopa did. The story of Gampopa's retreat also invites us to reflect on the symbolic nature of the visions themselves. Wealth, power, and pleasure are not inherently negative. They are neutral phenomena that become problematic only when we cling to them or assign them more meaning than they truly hold. By understanding their impermanence and their inability to provide lasting satisfaction, we can relate to them with wisdom rather than attachment. Gampopa's visions dissolved not because he fought against them, but because he saw them for what they were: fleeting mental projections. This is a liberating perspective, one that encourages us to approach our own challenges with curiosity and awareness rather than resistance. At its heart, Gampopa's story is one of transformation, not just the transformation of an individual, but the universal potential for change that lies within all of us. His retreat symbolizes the journey each of us can take, whether we are striving for spiritual awakening or simply seeking a more peaceful and authentic way of living. The 3 years, the temptations, and the insights are not relics of the past. They are reflections of the human condition, as relevant today as they were in Gampopa's time. By examining the poisons in our own lives, by questioning the illusions we cling to, and by cultivating the wisdom to see through them, we, too can take steps toward liberation. Gampopa's retreat is more than a historical account of a Buddhist master's journey. It is a living parable, rich with symbolic meaning and practical wisdom. It reminds us that the path to transformation is not found in external circumstances, but in the depths of our own minds. It challenges us to confront the poisons that cloud our judgment, to recognize the illusions that bind us, and to embrace the practices that can lead us to greater clarity and freedom. In this way, his story becomes our story, a testament to the potential within each of us to awaken to a deeper, truer understanding of ourselves and the world around us. A message for modern times. In the whirlwind of our modern world, Gampopa's story stands as a profound reminder of the enduring human struggle with distraction, attachment, and the search for meaning. While his retreat to a remote mountain cave might seem far removed from our busy, technology-driven lives, the essence of his journey remains deeply relevant. Like Gampopa, we too face challenges and temptations daily, albeit in a vastly different context. The distractions of wealth, status, and fleeting pleasures, amplified by the relentless pace of modernity, continue to pull us away from what truly matters. Gampopa's story offers timeless wisdom for navigating these complexities and reconnecting with a deeper sense of purpose. One of the most urgent lessons from Gampopa's experience is the importance of stillness. In his mountain cave, far from the distractions of society, he created a space for profound introspection and growth. While few of us can retreat to such extremes, we can still cultivate moments of quiet reflection in our daily lives. These moments don't require a cave or years of solitude. They can be as simple as sitting in silence with your morning coffee, taking a walk without your phone, or setting aside a few minutes to breathe and be present. In a world that constantly demands our attention, carving out time for stillness is a radical act of self-care and clarity. What would it look like to create these pockets of quiet in your busy life? How might they transform the way you relate to yourself and the world around you? The story of Gampopa also challenges us to recognize the illusions we chase. In his retreat, the visions of wealth, power, and pleasure were vivid, almost tangible, yet ultimately empty. These temptations mirror the things we pursue in modern life: material success, social status, and fleeting moments of gratification. How often do we find ourselves caught in the endless cycle of striving, believing that the next promotion, the next purchase, or the next achievement will finally bring lasting happiness? And yet, when we attain these things, the satisfaction is often fleeting, leaving us searching for the next goal. Gampopa's insight into the illusory nature of his temptations invites us to pause and reflect on our own attachments. What are the illusions in your life? What are the things you cling to? And how might they be holding you back from experiencing true freedom and contentment? Mindfulness offers a powerful tool for seeing through these illusions. By cultivating awareness, we can begin to recognize the impermanence and emptiness of the things we so often chase. This doesn't mean we must reject the world or deny ourselves joy. Rather, it invites us to approach life with greater clarity and balance. When we see things as they truly are, fleeting, ever-changing, and interconnected, we can begin to let go of the grasping that causes so much of our suffering. Imagine the freedom that comes from releasing these attachments and embracing life as it unfolds, moment by moment. Another crucial aspect of Gampopa's story is the role of guidance on the path to growth. His relationship with Milarepa was transformative, providing him with the wisdom, support, and perspective he needed to navigate the challenges of his journey. This dynamic reminds us that we too benefit from seeking out teachers, mentors, or even wise friends who inspire and challenge us to grow. In a world that often glorifies self-reliance, it's easy to forget the value of connection and the insights that others can offer. Who in your life inspires you to grow? Who helps you see things from a different perspective or encourages you to become the best version of yourself? Whether it's a formal mentor, a close friend, or a role model you admire from afar, these relationships can be a source of strength and guidance as you navigate life's complexities. At its core, Gampopa's story is a call to reconnect with what truly matters. It invites us to step back from the noise, reflect on our attachments, and seek wisdom from those who have walked the path before us. His journey reminds us that the source of both our suffering and our liberation lies within, and that even in the chaos of modern life, we can create space for transformation. Imagine how your life might change if you embraced even a fraction of the lessons from Gampopa's story. What would happen if you made time for stillness, even for just a few minutes, each day? How might your perspective shift if you began to see through the illusions of wealth, power, and pleasure, recognizing their impermanence? And what possibilities could unfold if you sought out and trusted the guidance of someone who inspires you? While the challenges of modern life may differ from those Gampopa faced, the essence of his journey is universal. His story reminds us that, no matter how chaotic the world may seem, we have the power to turn inward, to find clarity amidst the noise, and to walk a path of deeper understanding and fulfillment. The question is not whether we face distractions and temptations. Those will always be there. But whether we have the courage to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the truths that lie at the heart of our existence. Gampopa's journey is not just a story from the past. It is a timeless message for the present, offering us the tools to navigate the challenges of our own lives with wisdom, resilience, and grace. A final reflection. The story of Gampopa is not just a piece of history. It's an invitation to see the world and ourselves through a completely new lens. His life reminds us that enlightenment isn't about running away from the chaos of life, but about transforming how we experience it. It's about shifting our perspective, breaking free from the illusions that trap us, and daring to embark on the most profound journey of all, the journey inward. But here's the question: what illusions are holding you back? Is it the relentless pursuit of success, the need for approval, or the endless craving for more? What if you could let those go? Imagine the freedom, the clarity, the peace that might await. Gampopa's story dares us to confront these questions, to face our fears, and to take a step into the unknown, a step toward uncovering the truth within ourselves. The path, of course, is anything but easy. It's filled with challenges, moments of doubt, and tests that will push you to your limits. Yet, as Gampopa's journey proves, the rewards are immeasurable. It's a path that offers not just fleeting satisfaction, but lasting transformation. His teachings, rooted in timeless wisdom, continue to resonate, reminding us that within each of us lies the potential for greatness, for awakening, and for discovering a deeper connection to life itself. So, let me ask you this: are you ready to take the first step? Are you ready to let go of what no longer serves you and embrace the truths that have always been waiting? The journey begins not in some faraway mountain cave, but right here, right now, with a single decision to look within. If Gampopa's story resonates with you, if it stirs something deep inside, why not share this wisdom with others? Hit that like button. Share this video with someone who might need a little inspiration. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories and insights that awaken the mind and stir the soul. Together, let's continue exploring these timeless teachings and uncover the truths that connect us all. Your journey starts now. Will you join us?